Where do you want to go next? If you'd like to see Liyue's tourist spots, I have a few references. Osman.
So many things have happened since then. Yeah, we've definitely made some progress on our journey. So, where should we go today? Huh? What's up? Hey! What the heck was that for? Doesn't want to talk, huh? All right, let's convince him to calm down a little. I'm down.
Gather! Huh? So you don't have a vision after all? Seems like I've mistaken you for someone else.
At the very least, you should make sure you've got the right person before you go it. No, wait! Even when you've got the right person, you shouldn't go attacking them out of the blue.
Have you ever met someone by the name of Kazuha? He carries a sword just like you. I've also heard that he possesses an animo vision. That's none of your business. Never mind. You don't look like you know anything anyway. I'm wasting my time.
What the heck is this guy's problem? Coming around here? Well, one thing's for sure. No way are we telling him anything about Kazuha. Right? Paimon has a feeling, though, that even if this guy gets to challenge Kazuha to a duel, he won't be able to beat him. Anyway, just to be on the safe side, we should go fight Kazuha right away and tell him to watch his back. Oh? What kind of hunch? A special connection? You mean, yeah, maybe a little. But then again, most people look pretty much the same once they start fighting, so that doesn't really prove anything. Anyway, there's no time to lose. Let's go tell Kazuha so we won't get into any danger. Paimon heard that the Crux fleet is stocking up in Rito at the moment. Let's look for him there.
Take it easy.
It's my lucky day.
Gotcha.
You're looking for Kazuha too, huh? Guess he must have done something impressive after all. Well, we took the small vessels into Rito on a routine supply run, only this time, as soon as we entered the harbor, we ran. If it's because of that battle on Nizuchi Beach, Captain Beto had a great run there too, but Kazuha keeps to himself most of the time. In fact, there are times when he doesn't even listen to the captain, but she just laughs it off.
Oh, so you still don't know what he did?
I've heard bits and pieces. Something about him blocking the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. Is it really as big a deal as everyone's making it out to be? Really? Wow. When you put it like that, it all makes sense. In that case, his newfound stardom is well deserved. He was called away earlier by some people from the Tenryou Commission. I thought they'd come to arrest him at first. Turns out they couldn't have been friendlier to him. Seems like they really respect the guy.
Just a little while ago, this would have been completely unimaginable. Thank you! Guess we'll go pay a visit to the Tenryou Commission.
All right then. I'll just stay here and...
Take it easy.
Oh? It's you.
Greetings. We were just discussing the repealing of the Vision Hunt Decree. Since you're here, you're very welcome to listen in on the conversation. We invited Mr. Kaidahara here to extend a gesture of goodwill on behalf of the Shogunate. Your hard work has secured for us the agreeable state of affairs that we now enjoy. Also, I've been granted the chance to correct my clan's past mistakes, and for that, I'm deeply grateful. The Almighty Shogun has issued a large array of directives aimed at resolving, or at least easing, the tensions that have built up over the years. The Tri-Commission has made the recommendation to use... Regarding the history of the Kaidahara clan, I trust that you're already somewhat informed? In short, there was once a group of select bladesmiths who served the Shogun directly, responsible for upholding and further developing the traditional blade forging arts of the Almighty Shogun. The Kaidahara clan belonged to this class. But there came a time when some of these bladesmiths revolted and fled to Snezhnaya. Both the Kaidahara and Kamisato clans were held accountable for lax oversight and entered a period of great turmoil. We later learned that the whole misadventure had been secretly orchestrated by the Fatui. Attributing all of the blame to the Kamisato and Kaidahara clans was neither proper nor just. Considering Mr. Kaidahara has once more made an outstanding contribution to Inazuma, the Almighty Shogun believes he should not only be rewarded for his achievements, but also receive recompense for the excessive punishment borne by... In the interest of preventing further harassment of the Bladesmith clans by the Fatui, we chose not to publicly release the findings of our investigations into these matters. We trust you can understand why this was necessary.
This is a true honor. I am delighted to be in a position to receive the goodwill of the Almighty Shogun and the Shogunate at large. However, would I be correct to assume that this magnanimous gesture does not come without some strings attached?
I can assure you that nothing could be further from the truth. We seek only to correct a past injustice. With the Kaidahara clan's reputation and occupation restored, the Kaidaharas will be bladesmiths once more, and your wanderings will finally come to an end. You will be able to lead a safe and prosperous life in Inazuma City with the Almighty Shogun's blessing and full support of the Shogunate.
I have grown accustomed to life among the elements. I fear I would no longer feel at home behind the tall walls of a stately abode. Yet my ancestors did indeed take great pride in the name of Kaidahara, and the art of blade making for which it stood. I do have a responsibility to
I sense some hesitation in your words. Should you accept this offer, I imagine many of the malicious rumors currently circulating through the populace will disappear.
Malicious rumors? All we heard on the way here was so much praise that we almost wondered whether there was another Kaidahara Kazuha in town.
Well, to some, the Muso no Hitotachi is something that can never be defeated. They cannot accept the idea that Mr. Kaidahara really parried the Shogun's strike. Also, eyewitnesses saw him using the power of Electro in addition to that of Animo. As a result, the falsehood that Kaidahara Kazuha was using a delusion began.
What? But that doesn't make sense. Using a...
That is correct. However, to some people, the idea of a single person wielding two elements at once is a more...
This is just one of many similar rumors. I am very uncomfortable with being the subject of public discussion, but perhaps if the Shogunate is willing to publicly support me, This
is precisely why I encourage you to give our offer some serious...
In fact, let us put this discussion on hold for the moment. Well then,
Yikes! We nearly forgot about the most important...
why would such a dangerous individual be looking No. This puzzles me as much as it does you. My fighting forms were taught to me by my family, based on techniques originally developed for blade testing. Over time, these techniques came to form something of a Kaedahara sword art. Focused, those forms are quite different from the more practical ones typically used by samurai in battle. So it's hard to imagine that the similarity...
All the more reason to watch your back! This guy was a...
Indeed. He sounds highly aggressive. Anyone he targets is at risk of serious injury.
In that case, I will send some men out immediately to search for him.
Thank you. I must say, I am now very curious about this matter. I will first join the Traveler in investigating the one who attacked him, then give you a conclusive answer upon my return.
Very well. Please stay safe.
Come on. Let's go and track down your aggressor.
The detective agency knows the most about what goes on in town.
Please.
Let's see what Ryuji has.
Take it easy. Hit.
Hey there! We'd like to ask you a quick... Do you know if anyone around here has been looking for him?
Aha! So this is the renowned Mr. Kaedehara. I've heard of...
You are too kind. We are currently investigating it.
Oh? You were targeted in an assault? Let me think. Mr. Kaedehara is currently the talk of the town, so there are all... To be honest with you, our detective agency has recently been receiving many inquiries from people with... Some of them were offering us millions of mora just to gather the information they want.
Millions? Of mora? Whoa! Oh, wait. Even at that price, you probably...
Please, accept my thanks for looking out for my private...
Of course. No matter what, we only take on legitimate cases. We don't make our money by revealing detail. Sorry, I got a little off topic. What I'm really trying to say is, but I wouldn't know where to begin if we want to
Then let's put that connection. The Tenryou Commission had...
It's true that the commissioners aren't clued up about every little thing that goes on out in the streets. If anyone had been out there attacking people, that
does make sense. Uh-oh. Looks like the trail's already run cold.
I still find it difficult to believe that whoever attacked you hasn't been caused... Few people possess your prowess in battle. So unless you were the first person he targeted, someone is certain to have... I am well aware of your talents. There is no need to be humble around me. In fact, I'm quite relieved that you were the one he targeted. It would cause me great grief to see someone become critically injured or lose their life because of me. For the poor victim, this would be a completely senseless crime.
Don't worry, we'll find him.
It seems you are every bit the selfless hero they make you out to be, Mr. Kaedehara. Surely this same concern for your fellow man is what drove you to fearlessly raise your blade against the almighty Shogun.
You flatter me. Truth be told...
You are much too humble. Don't worry, I completely understand your Oh, actually, there was one strange incident over the last few days. It doesn't involve... Let me tell you about it just in case.
Sure. During times like this...
All right then. Recently, 2 people went missing from the city at around the same time. One of them is a pretty well-known collector, surnamed Nagato. The other, Amenoma Yuya, is a samurai from the Amenoma clan.
Amenoma? Now there's a familiar name.
Right. Yuya is the nephew of Amenoma Togo, the owner of Amenoma Smithy. Two grown men going missing at the same time. I recalled this because Amenoma Yuya is also an accomplished martial artist who is skilled with the blade.
Understood, though it seems highly unlikely to me.
Sure, can't hurt. We never know what we might find out along the way.
Thank you, Ryuji. We'll start by making some inquiries.
Sounds good. All the best with your investigation. I'll get moving.
What will you have me solve?
Ah, if it isn't Kaida...
You two...
Yes, the Kaedahara and Amenoma clans were both members of the Raiden Goka. After I returned to Inazuma, I visited Mr. Amenoma to pay my Yes, you may recall the story of the Raiden Gokaden from the Iridori Festival.
Though all bladesmiths trace their craft back to the same source, over time, each of us has arrived at a different blade-making philosophy, spawning the development of different branches of the same art. As an example, the Amenoma art strives to emulate the abiding patience and determination of water as it turns stone to sand. There is nothing mystical to our work. There is only practice, day in and day out, until both body and mind have memorized the craft, turning each motion of every technique into an intrinsic part of the bladesmith's life. As for the art of the Kaedahara clan, I believe it's called the Ishin art.
That's right. Ishin art strives for only a blade thus forged can capture and convey its maker's thought.
Indeed. Most samurai choose their... You are, without a doubt, the most worthy wielder of an Ishin.
You overestimate me, but let's get back on topic. The purpose of our visit, we hope to assist with the investigation. It may turn out...
Ah, yes. My nephew. I reported the case to the Tenryo Commission, but I haven't heard anything back so far. He didn't say a word before he left, which is very unlike him, but I've done what I can so far. Worrying is futile. All I can do now is wait for the news from the Tenryo Commission.
We heard that there was a collector involved in the disappearance too. Know anything about that?
Yes. On the morning that Yuya went I believe he went to collect the item from Mr. Nagato. Yes. Strange, isn't it? I wonder what could have caused it. Unfortunately, there was very little...
Do you have any thoughts on what Yuya may have wanted to give you?
If I had to guess, it must have been some kind of rare weapon. Otherwise, he's never been particularly interested in blade forging, but has always had a fondness for blade testing, and can sense even the most minute differences in blade quality. He is extraordinarily talented in martial arts, particularly when it comes to the art of...
Truth be told, we have some information that you may find to be objectionable. The person, based on the evidence we have gathered so far, only Yuya...
What? No. Absolutely impossible. He is humble and kind. Even his training is done...
Is that...
Yes. If there's one thing I can say for certain, it's that... But, with that said, it's equally... I also cannot know what course of action he might be capable of if coerced, or... Anyway, should you find him, please let me know as soon as possible.
Don't worry. You have our word.
From the sound of that, Paimon doesn't think Yuya was the one who attacked us as well.
Yes. It sounds as if something happened when the two men met each other. Let's pay a visit to the Nagato household.
I'm very sorry, but we cannot afford to pay what we owe right now. My husband has gone missing, and I'm still trying to find him.
No, you misunderstand us. We are here to help with the investigation.
I see. I thought the debt collectors had come to visit again. I'm sorry you have to see me in this dreadful state. Has some new information come out? Do you...
I'm afraid we don't have any new information at the moment. With this in mind, can we perhaps ask some questions about your family's current situation?
For example, Paimon's struggling to understand why a collector would be strapped for Mora.
That's a long story. Ever since I've known him, he's been an avid collector of all sorts of things. He'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me. I knew nothing about the items myself, but seeing how enthusiastic and excited they made him, I was happy to believe that they were just extremely important to him. Everything was fine when we first got married, but as time went by, things changed for the worse.
Uh-oh, what happened?
He lost his sense of restraint. He started buying more and more things, and even resorted to borrowing money just so he could pay for them. Our expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons. It was awful. He wouldn't sell them, wouldn't even touch them. Just sat there staring at them like he was in a trance. I'm happy he has a hobby, and I'm willing to support him. But making ends meet has to come first. On the last day that I saw him, I gave him an ultimatum. I said, if he refused to sell his collectibles and pay off his debts, I would divorce him and take the children with me.
Whoa!
And that led to an argument.
Actually, it didn't. Generally, he's a quiet man who likes to go with the flow. On most things, he leaves the decision-making. You must understand, I never would have dreamed of threatening him with divorce if the debts hadn't pushed our family to the brink. After I said those words, he froze and was silent for a long time. When he finally spoke, his voice was so meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take everything back. But then what? If I didn't draw the line, what would happen to our family? Had I not indulged his bad habits, we wouldn't have found ourselves in such a predicament. And I also don't know if he had actually come to his senses, or if he was simply... The next thing I heard was that our warehouse had caught fire, and both he and the buyer had gone missing.
I see. I understand. Amin Omayuya came to purchase a weapon from Mr. Nagato.
At first, I assumed they must have gotten into an argument over the price. But my husband has never been one to negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying groceries, so it's hard to imagine him getting into a fierce argument.
Maybe he was feeling the pressure from the debts?
I don't know. He just disappeared after the warehouse burned down. Perhaps he's too afraid to come home now that all his collectibles have been lost in the fire, and he's got no way to pay off our debts. Even though I'm still a little mad at him, we're a family, and I want us to face our family's crisis together. As long as he's willing to turn over a new leaf, I know we can work things out.
Please don't get upset. There could be more to this situation than meets the eye. If collecting things is a habit that Mr. Nagato had his whole life, it is quite unusual for this habit to change but the information we gathered from the other side suggests Amin Omayuya is also a mild-mannered man who would not be likely to start an argument. This situation is getting a little confusing.
A little confusing? More like completely mystifying.
Let's try a change of scenery and see if we can piece together. Rest assured, we'll notify you if we find anything.
Thank you so much.
Based on the information we've gathered so far, I can only surmise that the sales meeting between the two men was somehow the catalyst for their disappearance. The fire at the warehouse likely played a part in how the situation unfolded, though its exact role is a mystery. Do you have any thoughts?
Well, Paimon was thinking that maybe someone accidentally knocked over an oil lamp? Nope, never mind. Paimon's brain needs to rest for a while. Over to you.
An interesting explanation. I was also considering this possibility. Amenoma Yuya is an expert on swords. He could have noticed some problematic details about Mr. Nagato's collect. Maybe he recognized a blade as a fake, or a well-known stolen item. Either way, after arguing about it, the two men agreed to hide the truth of it. They thought a fire would destroy everything. But then the Tenryou Commission began investigating and uncovered some incriminating details, so they fled to protect their secrets. But it's a far-fetched theory. I can't imagine how they would have been able to reach an agreement. One fact that I keep coming back to is that Amenoma Yuya is polite and well-mannered, while Mr. Nagato is introverted and passive. Neither seems like the type of person who is in. Mr. Nagato, being heavily in debt, is also the only one of them with the potential motive to disappear after the fire. The more I ponder it, the more puzzling it becomes. Just what could have happened there? Right. Although the time frame seems to broadly match, no other details that we've learned seem to link the two events together. Amenoma Yuya lacks a key distinguishing feature of the attacker, namely that he is principally a practitioner of the blade testing techniques of Amenoma art.
Darn! We thought we could get two birds with one stone here, but at this rate, it's starting to look like a wild goose chase.
Let's keep going. If we can solve the case, both Mr. Amenoma and
Okay.
Let's head out of the city and check out the warehouse. There's still a chance we may be able to find some shreds of evidence.
Take it easy.
Wait. I hear something ominous in the wind.
Oh! This must be another one of those sounds that only you can hear. As sketchy as that whole thing seems, you did put it to good use when we were chasing down that vision thief at Beto's tournament, so...
Now I'm picking up a strong scent in addition to the sound. It's right around here.
But there's nothing here.
It's gone now, but I can still sense the direction. It felt very much like that ancient presence in Inazuma. Indeed. But this unexpected spring of inauspicious energy may prove to be of benefit to our... We should remain vigilant and approach slowly.
So it's an underground warehouse.
The force is definitely coming from down below. The source of the Tatarigami energy, judging from the concentration, I would have to conclude that the Tatarigami source resided here for a very long time.
Mrs. Nagato said her husband used to hang around the warehouse by himself a lot.
It could well be that he was already under the influence of Tatarigami energy at that time. From what I've been told, Tatarigami does not turn all upon whom it preys into violent monsters. But most will develop a stubborn streak upon being exposed. Mr. Nagato had an interest in collecting to begin with. The influence of Tatarigami could explain why he became an obsessive hoarder, amassing more and more possessions, even as he put himself in grave debt.
What should we do now? Go down and take a look?
Step back. I'll open the door and take a look inside. If we don't open this door, we can move no closer to the truth. You needn't worry. Both of us have faced far greater dangers than this. Relatively speaking, the risk here is trivial.
What's down there?
Everything's buried in debris. It looks like the fire caused a cave-in, reducing the entire warehouse.
That was too scary! Paimon was so sure that the warehouse...
All we can do now is keep searching in the direction that the Tatarigami energy source left this. Two ordinary humans, entangled with the Tatarigami. Yes, let's go. If not, quiet your mind and focus on what you sense around. From this point, the trail appears to split into two. The main source of the Tatarigami energy continued on into the...
Whoa! Look at all those hilly churls! They're acting really strangely.
Something seems to be drawing their attention. Let's take a closer look.
Stabilize!
Quietly now.
There is no escape.
Time for takeoff.
It's...
Ugh! Look at this red stuff!
By the looks of it, a letter, written on a piece of torn clothing. Well... According to this letter, a conflict arose because Amenoma Yuya started the fire that destroyed the warehouse and wounded Mr. Nagato in the fight. Mr. Nagato kept chase as long as he could, eventually stopping here to write this letter when his strength gave out.
So, where is he?
He was not only mortally wounded, but also under the heavy influence of Tatarigami. At whatever traces there may have been of his fate beyond after this point. Yes, right now we need to uncover some more important truths. If Amenoma Yuya is attacking other people indiscriminately, then the longer we take to find him, the more people risk meeting the same tragic end.
Right, so let's get moving.
I wouldn't be surprised if he, too, fell prey to the influence of the Tatarigami. For a practitioner of the martial arts, the easiest desire to inflame all the clues that at first seemed disparate, and I have a hypothesis that, if it's correct...
Wait, you figured it out?
I believe so. On with the search. We must stay... He seems to have stayed here for a long time.
Why here? Is there anything special about this place?
I'm not sure, But on closer examination, I sense that the aura may have lingered here at several different points in time.
Show yourself! It's no use hiding anymore.
Kaedehara Kazuha. It's you, at last.
Aha! So it is the same guy from before! What's your problem, huh? What could you possibly have against Kazuha?
Indeed, there should be no enmity between us, if it is Ame-no-me Yuya that stands before us. But what if instead of facing Ame-no-me Yuya, we are in fact facing the blade in his hand?
Now that you mention it, it is giving off a strange light. Whoa! Surely you...
Tatarigami energy often lodges itself within physical objects, then works to subtly affect any living organism. The blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years, affecting his state of mind, or rather, as a means to occupy Ame-no-me.
You're sharper than I thought. You've already deduced the truth. Many, many years ago, I was forged by a famed bladesmith of the Ishin tradition. I was his pride and joy. In me, he placed all his hope as a descendant of the Kaedehara clan. You should be...
I presume it has something to do with the Raiden Gokaden.
Indeed. At that point in time, he failed to live up to the Raiden Shogun's expectations. In the end, all he could do was to flee the nation by sea on a ship bound for Snezhnaya. He was a bladesmith of great renown, a master of his craft. There was nothing that he could not accomplish. All he needed was more time and a little faith. And sure enough, in the end, he achieved what he had set out to do. He not only bestowed upon me the greatest of strength. In her conceit, the Raiden Shogun lost not only the single most perfect blade in the entire world, but also an irreplaceable achievement in the art of blade forging.
So... swords can become conscious and control people?
The people of the time in which I was born never believed I had that kind of power. They saw me as a mere blade, a sharp and well-crafted one, but in all other respects an ordinary weapon. But that gave... After the death of my creator, I decided to leave Snezhnaya and began my long quest to return to the distant land of Inazuma. Moving from one person to the next, I seek but one thing: to face the full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power, the might of Ishin art.
So Ame-no-me Yuya was not your first victim. Tell me, what happens to those you've possessed when you...
My hosts? Who cares what happens to them? They are but tools that serve my mission. When they got tired, or injured, or unusable, I hopped to the next one in line. All I needed them for was to take...
You're awful!
After I returned to Inazuma, I decided to bide my time in Nagato's warehouse, until Ame-no-me Yuya handed himself over to me on a silver platter. At long last, I'm approaching my journey's destination. By Ame-no-me Yuya's body, I have found you, and by your hand, Kaedehara Kazuha, you stood against the Raiden Shogun. Now, submit to me!
Gotcha. Brace yourselves. Illusion shattered.
History!
Shine down!
Submit to me!
Into the wind.
I'll rewrite history!
Clouds high. The birds...
Do not stand in my...
Your bluff's
Lost. I can never lose. Even if you defeat me here, the one who falls will not be me, but this man. He is but a puppet that can be replaced. I can take a new... The end result is the same! I will end this wretch's life before you can lift a finger! And even if I were to lose my physical form, it is but a small set by any means necessary, and any medium available. I shall return and fulfill my destiny!
Your fighting style. It is indeed the forms of Ishin, but from your movements, I sense only hatred and arrogance, as well as a thinly veiled mania.
Really? You can tell all that just from his...
As I've mentioned before, the forms of Ishin art since the blade is currently possessing Aminome Yuya's body, its movements express the innermost thoughts of the blade. If you ask me, the mania is probably due to your desperate, single-minded ambition. You believe I am your only hope.
Are you trying to claim that I am helpless without you? On his deathbed, he passed to me. In that regard, why would I ever need your help?
Because all of that is in the past. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in all the years that you've been in Inazuma. If you are indeed, now that I've seen inside your mind, everything fine. After all the
Oh, that's right. Paimon remembers now. Mr. Nagato had a habit of never touching his collectibles.
Only when Mr. Nagato witnessed his wife's distress and decided to sell his collectibles did you finally have an opportunity to reach out to Aminome Yuya and...
And what a...
Well, that brings me to my second point. You were determined to fulfill your maker's ambition, whatever the cost. But this ambition is too grand and too heavy for you to bear. I think you realized your limitations long ago. The more you clenched your teeth and pressed forward, the greater your fear of losing everything you had achieved grew. But the way I see it, what began as an ambition has long since become...
What would you know about any of this?
You returned to Inazuma to prove the unparalleled brilliance of Ishin art. Even if you were to sever that divine light, is this truly the outcome that your maker would have desired?
You...
Sure, you inherited the secrets of Ishin art. But even as you made your journey to honor this legacy, you treated... How could you possibly unleash the full potential of Ishin art when you act...
Silence, you blabbering fool! I must achieve my goal. This was his life's dream, and the very I will concede that you are most perceptive. You see my predicament clearly. But you...
And you should face reality.
Easy for you to say. Facing reality offers me nothing. I have no need of anything that would stand in my way. It is pointless to...
How stubbornly you stick to your wayward... I do not believe for a second that you can challenge the almighty Shogun in your current state. So...
What? Surely you're not planning...
Very well. Then find yourself some enemies with whom you wish to cross blades. A taste once we have dealt with them.
And as for your end of the bargain, if you lose, you must release Aminome Yuya.
I accept.
Don't do this, Kazuha!
This is the only way to save Aminome Yuya. If we don't do this, he'll forever be the blade. The cursed blade's strength is currently very weak, and I sense the power of the Tatarigami lies in intensifying existing obsessions. This is the reason Mr. Nagato and Aminome Yuya fell prey to it. Since I don't have any similar kinds of obsessions, I should be able to put up some resistance for a while.
But even so...
Even if things take a turn for the worse, I still have you both here with me. We have a chance here to save an innocent victim. I am willing...
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful ignorance. I agreed to this bet because there are things I wish to learn now. Take me in your hand.
Kazuha?
I'm okay. I felt a little dizzy at first, but only for a moment. It's all right. So far, this was as I expected. I will.
What should we do next? Have you got a plan, Kaz?
We find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, it probably hasn't experienced. If a blade built for Ishin art cannot enter a state of harmony between blade and bearer, if he wants to avoid reality...
Wait a minute! Paimon remembers hearing about something since the Takasukasa clan abandoned that secret...
all right.
What about
The blade says he'll let Amenoma Yuya trail us silently. Although he hasn't regained his own conscience.
Are we sure this is a good idea? Okay, fine.
Leave everything on this journey to me. One with nature. How's this? The wind knows me. Final shot. To the very finally, let's get down to business. One with nature. As one with wind and cloud.
How are you feeling?
I'm all right. The blade is performing largely as I expected. Having gone so long without proper use and maintenance, it's become very difficult. Though he's making every effort to persevere, I do not think he can last.
Something else on your...
How strange. Rather than trying to... Let's keep going. Time to go. Let's get down to business. Boom! Clouds high. The birds call. Let's get down to business. Time to go.
As one with wind and cloud.
Whoa, something's up with the blade.
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading away. The blade is becoming more and more difficult for me to wield. He cannot hold out much longer. If he keeps persisting, he will likely break apart at any—
But what would that do to Amino?
I will be careful with it. He also says he does not have any plan. He's still trying to achieve his goal.
I'm ready.
Wind Strider. Clouds high. The birds call. Time to go.
Are you okay? It looked like you were.
Yes. And it looks like he's reached his limit.
The sheen's grown a bit dimmer again. It doesn't look
Perhaps this time, we'll finally have a chance to see his true form.
true form. What are you? Is this the same blade as before? It looks like a piece of junk.
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, you wouldn't even be able to beat Samurai and Kairagi, much less the almighty Shogun. Maybe you did truly wield power to rival the Shogun's light when first forged. But the long journey from Snezhnaya back to Inazuma has left you battered. It barely needs stating anymore. Your ambition is a flight of fancy. I've finally figured out why it was that you agreed to my bet. You wanted to reach a state of harmony with me. For perhaps then you would still be able to wield commendable power. But regrettably, we are nothing alike. I will never understand the only one who truly understood you had already passed away by the time you were born.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
Here they are! Take them down!
Ah, where do they keep coming from? Yup, we can help this time.
Don't worry. I'll use my own blade. It's just more.
Let me try my blade.
Wind Strider.
This
You fought way better with your own sword.
You are a true Kaedehara in flesh and in spirit. Though we fought briefly no one knew anything of my story throughout my travels, nor did I tell it to anyone. I thought that if I could achieve Ishin harmony with you,
But in this too, you have failed.
Indeed. No matter how too much time has passed. My physical state is poor, and without yours is the blade that took on the—
Actually, this is just a generic blade that I picked up during my travels in Forging and maintenance are both important for a blade, but they aren't. This blade has traveled the land with me for many years, and we have formed a close skill, blade, determination. There is something else I must tell you. Tatarigami is a malevolence from the ancient. Though you tried to cooperate with me while I was wielding you, the part of you driven by Tatarigami.
I sensed it, but I couldn't—
I resisted its temptations because I wanted to save Amenoma Yuya. But I feel a great sense of regret for you. since you embarked on the moment you embarked on this journey. You have known this for a long time.
He gave me everything. How could I possibly I said to him.
Aww.
I believe our bet is now settled. I have...
Where are you going, Kazuha?
He now has neither the ability nor the motivation to cause further harm. Let's give him some time to reflect. When I touched the hilt for the first time, it's as if I was transported to a strange dimension. A bladesmith lay quietly on the bed, his frail face barely visible under the moonlight. His breaths were weak, and his life near its end. A newly forged blade lay by his side.
Wow. That was the Blade's memory, wasn't it?
Indeed. While in exile, he spent the rest of his life in the forge. Not to vent his frustration and hatred, he felt intense regret at being tricked by the Fatui, but he could never again return, so he instructed this sentient blade to find a way back to Inazuma, no matter how long or how hard the journey. All he wanted to show was that they once shone brilliantly as blade and smith.
So that's the true story. But after that, the blacksmith's intentions were worked by the Tatarigami, slowly turning his proud creation into the cursed blade of today.
Right. I believe the bladesmith might never have known that the power he worked with was that of the Tatarigami. The hatred within that power is what sent the blade. This blade has committed unforgivable atrocities, but only because it lost its original master. No one would...
Shame?
Yes. Time would not wait or stop because of his determination. While the world moved on, his ambition remained stubbornly stuck at that fleeting... He seems to have calmed down, though.
When I look back at the past, I can remember I once told him that I would pay any price to fulfill his wishes. Such was the debt I owed to him for giving me the gift of consciousness. But darkness and slaughter numbed the mind. Not only did I fail to fulfill his ambition...
You are finally seeing reality.
Since we agreed to the terms of the bet, I will honor the agreement. But I still cannot bring myself to forsake his ambition. It is the entire... So... May I ask you to help?
Hey! Now you're adding yours into the mix, too? Jeez, don't push your luck, mister.
It has to be done in this order. At least hear what I have to say. And if you don't agree, I will still... My physical form, as well as the knowledge I possess, should still be of some value.
His attitude has grown a lot. What do you think, Kazuha? Should we...
Let's hear it.
Thank you all. When I was first forged, my maker was already terminally ill. He told me that he had wanted me to have the grandest opening battle. Alas, after that, nor have I ever had the chance. My fights were devoid of any noble meaning. They were merely the next step in my never-ending journey, the next in a long line of transgressions. You are a fine warrior. I would like to request your hand in battle and experience a true duel.
Oh? And who would be the opponent?
I will release Ame no Mayuya and restore his consciousness. Perhaps you must have plenty of reasons to both hate me and his...
Understood. Then...
I see. He used my body. I utterly despise him and his actions. But since he stayed true to your agreement by releasing me, he must... If a duel can help to set this state of affairs in order, I do not wish to be a mere victim.
There's no need to worry. We'll vouch for your innocence to the terror...
Thanks for your help. Who knows how this would have ended with...
All right, then let's move on. More Ronin could appear at any moment. In any case, for a final duel, I think we should aim for a great...
Take it easy.
This reminds Paimon a bit of the Crux Clash. Yep, we still can't. Still, even if he's way past. Are you ready?
Ready? Okay. Successor of Ishin art. Kaedahara Kazuha.
Successor of Amenoma art. Amenome Yuya.
Honored to cross blades with you.
It is my honor also.
Wind Strider. Time to go. Into the wind. Falling leaves, adorn my night. Wind Strider. Time to go. Wind Strider. As one with wind and cloud. Wind Strider.
Thank you for the although he appears battered and broken. In your hands, it seems his sense of savage cruelty has complete.
You also fought well. There are a few things that I shall leave him to tell you.
I must apologize to you.
You need not seek my forgiveness. Nor do I. It is too late for.
I do not wish for forgiveness. I strayed far from the straight and narrow path, but the Ishin art still. I beseech you. Please.
Yes. I too trust Mr. Kaedahara.
Thank you, successor.
This blade has also told me that he has another wish. Maybe we can go back there to get.
What does he want?
I'm not sure, but I think.
I am sorry to have troubled you. It's all thanks to them.
A prized Ishin blade, turned weapon that controls the human mind. Considering their forging philosophy, this was indeed within the realm of possibility. This is a great... But I have some good news as well. Ryuji from the bond...
Really? Is he...
Yes. Badly wounded. And now that Yuya is back...
I think I know what you want to...
What's wrong, Kazuha? Is the blade whispering in your ear again?
Yes. He said he wants to take control of me for a brief moment.
What? No way!
He tells me that he's thought of another way to fulfill his maker's wish. I have decided...
You... But... He...
Thank you. I will... Okay. I am ready.
My power is almost spent. Without him, my eventual demise is inevitable. But if I abandon the future to give everything I have in this moment, my physical form can be forged anew.
Everything? You mean...
Yes. The cost is my entire consciousness. You were right. There's nothing that I can accomplish now. But there's still a chance for Ishin art. Once remade, I will be a valuable resource for your studies. Ishin lives on, and its finest hour is yet to come. Even if I am not the one to prove its might to the Shogun, as long as it is an Ishin blade, crafted by Kaedehara hands, it will still fulfill his final wish. Thank you, son of the Kaedehara clan. Over the years, my real name has been forgotten by all. I'm ashamed to utter it, yet it remains strong in my mind. Kagotsurube Ishin. This name is now yours to keep.
Rest in peace.
So, that's why his consciousness will disappear forever after fulfilled.
Kagotsurube Ishin. It was the first time I ever heard him. It seems like deep down he disapproved of his own actions, and thus chose to only in the final moments, before his consciousness faded, was he willing to entrust it to another.
Seems like he really wants.
The same fervent ambition that gave him the motivation to keep going forward. Speaking for myself, I understand. Perhaps this is a flaw in my personality. I've always been captivated by grand aspiration. Hearing his wish to rival the divine light touched something inside of me. Just as the sight of those who fought to repeal your quest to face the gods and trace your sibling inspires me in the same. After everything I've seen, perhaps these pursuits fascinate me.
Oh, Kazuha.
I will continue to support you from this point on. Know that you will have...
Wait! Shouldn't we also go up?
Oh, you're right. And it's also time to give him a response to the offer he made.
You've returned. The Tenryou Commission has already attended to the danger at the warehouse. The investigation into Amanome Yuya should conclude.
Wow, you sure kept your ear to the ground.
Then we needn't recount all the details again. Now, as to your earlier offer, I wish to give you my answer. Please take a look at this blade.
What's this?
Kagotsurube Ishin. A weapon crafted using by means of a series of fortuitous events, I was able to recover and restore him. I also promised him that I will continue to study, and so it looks like I will likely continue with my journey across the nation.
I see. I understand.
The Kaedehara clan has always been a family of bladesmiths. Were I to accept your goodwill, I may find my...
You misunderstand. That was most certainly not our...
I am aware, but I still desired.
Very well. I can understand. However, if you should ever change your mind or find yourself in need of the Shogunate's assistance, please do not hesitate to inform me.
Great. Thank you for...
Where will you travel to?
As for my next destination, let's see where the wind takes me.
Here we go. Think you can get away?
Stabilize! This is order!
Yahoo! Brace yourself. Take it easy.
Solidify!
Time for takeoff. Illusion shattered. Quietly now. Here we go. There is no escape.
Stabilize!
Gotcha. Let's play. Shine down. Quietly now.
Solidify!
Gotcha. Illusion shattered. Here we go. Think you can get away?
Gather! I will have order!
Busted. Let's wait till the snow gets heavier and have a snowball fight. Take it easy.
Solidify!
Let's play. Time for takeoff.
Now you shall perish!
Add Astro. Thank you for complete.
When you're high up, everyone hears your voice.
Once, there was a glorious kingdom.